I invoke the presence of the community of practitioners. I am inspired by the lineage of teachers. I am inspired by the enlightened one. I am inspired by their teachings. I am inspired by the community of practitioners. My path is supported by the lineage of teachers. My path is supported by the enlightened ones. My path is supported by their teachings. My path is supported by the community of practitioners. Until the heart of enlightenment is reached, I go for refuge to the three jewels. I will attain enlightenment. For the sake of all beings. Until the heart of enlightenment is reached, I go for refuge to the three jewels. I will attain enlightenment. For the sake of all beings. Until the heart of enlightenment is reached, I go for refuge to the three jewels. I will attain enlightenment. For the sake of all beings.
So we have some organization going on here. Flavia's translating into Spanish. And Gisele is translating into Portuguese. So they need to organize themselves. Will you tell me, Miri, when that's done? She's doing that now. So lovely to see all of you. Wow. What a gift. Such a precious group we've gathered over the years. So, Miri, are we ready?
Flávia? Você já avisou as pessoas? Já conectaram na sala? Faz isso. Faz um ok para nós.
Okay, ready, set, go. So Miri requested that I make it clear to all of my dear friends who are committed to this practice, one way or the other, what our protocol is of study. And so I started going through notes and quotes and ideas. And at first I thought I would just follow the documents that I've prepared and sent to many of you over the years. Are you okay, Miri? Yeah, the echo. Okay, so where to begin, but I think I know where I want to begin, and it's very interesting. This is a quote that just came in barely an hour ago from our dear friend Nicolette. And it was exactly the note that I wanted to open this with, although I have other quotes that I will use. But let me read this to you. And I'm sorry, Gisele, I didn't give this to you to translate, so you have to do it on the run here. Okay. My true nature, and this is for all of us, our true nature is that of a magnificent being of sound, light, and vibration, possessing the wisdom of the universe within us. We are capable of radiating this light, sound, vibration into the world, sending waves of love, bringing healing and reconciliation. No one can take our place. We are a stream of becoming, completely unique, and yet totally interconnected with all that exists. We are timeless. Our story stretches into the infinite past and the infinite future. When we dance Tara, we remember our true nature, and we are sending waves of love together, which bring healing and reconciliation. Thank you so much, Nicolette. That was from my book, Dancing Tara, because the story is the same. All these years, that this is our opportunity. This is the blessing that we have all been granted, is this opportunity to experience our own essence as a radiant being of light. We all have a hunger. We have a hunger to make life, our life, to understand what can we do with this opportunity of being a human being? What can we do with this? What is the potential in this opportunity when there are times it seems so confusing, so difficult to understand, what do I do with this moment when there are so many different forces at play? What do we do? So these teachings, this protocol, this adventure of working with the Taradatu material answers that question. We are a radiant being of light, capable of bringing about blessings to our world. So, and the answer is always, how do we do that? Well, it's method and view. We have the view of this potential, this human potential. And then we methodically engage in the practices that will bring it about. Now, today we just had Miri had a call with a couple of new students. And they both expressed interest in the dance, excitement about the dance, but about the dance, they really did not understand the profound implications of this dance. And so that is the purpose of this protocol, is to introduce and to engage in the method and the view of our human potential. This is what this protocol is about. I am following my book, Dancing Tara, to some extent, because I took a great deal of time and energy writing this down so that you can use it as a reference. But I also realized, as we continued through these 40 years of Dancing Tara, I also realized that we needed more support. There had to be more support than just showing up for a weekend and presenting the dance, which was wondrous. And then there were the week-long retreats or the 10-day retreats, also very helpful. But I felt in the privilege of my own journey in with these practices, that there were really specific things that helped me. My teachers, and I wanted to introduce them. Miria, are you able to bring up the picture of Taisita Rinpoche? These teachers really engaged with me all the way. They watched the dance, they heard my doubts, they explored my situation, and continually encouraged me on this journey. So I have confidence in them, and because of the confidence that I have in them, I encourage you to have confidence in me. So I am here to help us. I'm here to help you to make use of this material. Of course, I'm delighted. Yeah, there he is. There he is. And, I was looking through my pile of pictures. Most of them are him with this gorgeous smile, his most beautiful smile. But look what he says. You are a Buddha in your essence. Nothing can corrupt that. Nothing can shake that. That is real confidence. So what he said to me over the years, when the dance first started, he was the first High Lama that I offered the dance to, with 21 of my fabulous Maui friends. And he was very excited. He said, you're going to take this internationally. Now, this was in 1986. And he said, you're going to take this internationally, and you will have a festival, you will have, and he went on about the costumes. And when I kept saying to him, but I don't know anything about Buddhism, I don't know anything about this, I just created this dance as a gesture of love and respect for our local Lama, which was Lama Tenzin. And he said, he ignored that. He completely ignored my questions. He just kept going on about this dance was a dance of devotion, was an accumulation of merit. And 10 years later, he told me it was an accumulation of wisdom. So it took me some journey to sort out exactly what all of that meant. Now, I definitely want to tip of the hat to Lama Tenzin. Miri, can you please open the picture of Lama Tenzin? Lama Tenzin called himself the Little Lama. And he enjoyed my classical Indian dance over the years. And I created the Tara dance as an expression of love to him and appreciation and joy. Well, I had no idea what I was doing as far as what that piece of text, what it meant. Because to Tibetans, the 21 praises of Tara is the most profound prayer culturally. Everyone knows it. It's like the Lord's Prayer in our Christian culture. Everyone knows the Lord's Prayer, Our Father who art in heaven. So to the Tibetans, it's the praises of the Great Mother. And close to their heart is the Great Mother. The Tara practices are held by every Tibetan. The highest Lama, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, said to me, I know all these fabulous practices. I know all these wonderful practices, but you know I keep Tara in my pocket. She's the one that's closest to my heart. So Miri, are you able to bring up Lama Tenzon's picture? We're seeking it out now, I can see. Oh, well, looks like something might be happening. Okay, wow. Doesn't matter, we'll invoke him in spirit. Moment by moment, we have no idea what the universe is going to present to us. At any rate, this is the journey. Sita Rinpoche, there he is, Lama Tenzin, up in Kanayo doing his practice for us. Yeah, so just, I want you to know that these beings, their entire life has been devoted to understanding and to transmitting this method, these methods that we use. And because this dance became so important to so many so quickly, I felt the intense need to understand what we were doing. Why was there such a big impact when most of us didn't understand the culture? We certainly didn't understand the language. And we tried to figure out why it was so potent to be with these beings. What was actually going on? What was going on when we danced Tara? Why was it such a big deal? Why did it affect us so strongly? So that was my journey to try to understand. We also had the great good fortune of the old Kalu Rinpoche was alive at that time. Miri, can you find that picture? Kalu Rinpoche was in retreat for 13 years in the mountains. And he had manifested the most incredible capacity. Even though I never understood a single word that he said, no, that's Bokha Rinpoche. Also another great Lama. Yes, I wanted you to show his picture as well. He was the student of Kalu Rinpoche. And when Kalu Rinpoche passed away, he stepped forward to take his place as far as leading the Shangpa Kagyu lineage. And he took me on as a personal student so that I could engage in these practices in the most profound way, so that I could enter into retreat and discuss with him the many experiences that I had. So this is a little bit of the background. Miri, can you find the picture of Kalu?
I didn't receive from you. Give me a minute. I will look in my files, okay?
Okay, no problem. Bokha Rinpoche, Also a sweetheart to look at. So in this journey, one of the things that Situ said after 10 years, we danced for him in 1987, and then we danced for him in 1997. And then he said, that was when he said to me, because you have engaged in intensive practice, that was myself, and the women are all obviously meditating in the dance. He said, this dance now, I will declare it as an opportunity to accumulate wisdom. Now, Boko Rinpoche, when he saw the dance, he agreed completely with that observation. And he had many really interesting things to say about it. First of all, oh, well, that's not the picture of Kalu I thought I sent you, but it's a good one. This was me doing some classical Indian dance for him when he came up to Kanayo to bless the temple up there. And he was really couldn't figure out what I was doing, but he was a good sport about it. Anyway, you can come back to me. That's all right. Thank you for indulging me in seeing the pictures of these great lamas, these great beings that have had so much influence over this practice. So back to Situ, because it's so important, why I am doing this, reaching out to all of you, trying to explain why we have this protocol, because it's so important. Situ, the next time I saw him was also during this 97 visit, only I went to Oahu to have a private conversation with him. And he said to me, this is Tara's lineage. And you have to be careful because it is this great opportunity of the accumulation of wisdom. You need to be careful as the dance moves out from you. You are going to have women who want to teach this dance. And he said, that's wonderful. That's really part of what this is all about, is to make this opportunity for women to really receive these kinds of teachings and engage in these kinds of practices. But he said, you need to be so careful when you do this, because it's easy for people to misunderstand. These teachings are not something that is common. These are not common experiences. These are exceptional experiences. And in order to really understand, in order to really engage, people need to understand what we talk about, what we mean when we talk about the Dharma. He said, there are going to be those who will want to use the dance as an expression of worship for the goddess. And he said, and this is really unfortunate, because it's not about worship of the goddess. It's not about that at all. It's about manifesting the fullness of awakened mind in each individual, manifesting it in such a way that we can inspire and awaken those around us. So that as we engage in these practices, not only will they bring blessing to us in our own lives because of the strong connection with a being such as Tara, but they will enable us to discover how to live a life that attracts others to us in order for us to inspire them to be themselves awakened. many people, I was told just recently, this current generation feels a little lost, but of course we felt lost too, without this connection with a strong practice that brings about clarity and stability. It's difficult for us to see what needs to be done. It's when we do not understand the power of our thoughts, our speech, and our action, when we do not understand how every moment resonates and reflects back to us this great opportunity of radiating our power and joy into the world and transforming, helping to transform those around us, helping to awaken them. This is so essential that we realize this. So then there's no sense of hopelessness. There's no sense of not having any reason to be alive, which is, I hear this. And it's easy to understand. If we don't have this realization, as Situ said in that photograph that we are sharing with you, that we are awakened, our essential nature is awakened mind. And these practices help us to realize that. Now, one of the things that I was thinking about earlier this week as I was gathering up all of these notes and ideas of just exactly how I wanted to approach this opportunity to share these teachings with you, I was remembering that when I started looking into Hinduism through the book, The Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, he was talking about all of these miraculous beings. Now, I had already seen a few miracles in my young life. I'd seen miraculous healings, and I've experienced certain flashes of intuition. But what he was talking about, what Yogananda was talking about, were many extraordinary beings with extraordinary capacity. And so it intrigued me that the potential of our humanity was to be able to resonate with every person that presents themselves before us, to understand, to hear them on an intimate level, not verbally, but with our heart, to hear their needs, to hear their aspirations, and to hear their confusion. That this was a potential within each one of us. So I became more and more interested. How do we develop this? How does this happen? And of course, there were all these yogis and great beings. And so I ended up in India. And I ended up meeting some of these extraordinary beings and recognizing this wasn't just some mythos. This wasn't just some imaginary thing. This was something that was that we were all, it was part of what we are all, we can all engage, we can all learn how to do this. But we have to put aside some things. This is, of course, the other thing that, it took some study, it took some understanding. What do we put aside? So we have, we have words that don't quite say it all, but they give us an indication that there's a simple measuring stick to measure whether our words or our thoughts or our actions are going to move us towards this awakened state. And that is to recognize that the more we engage in life with the understanding that every second affects every being, that everyone that exists is affected by our actions, by our thoughts, and by our speech. This is something we can do something about this. We can really take note. What is happening? How do we engage in life? How do we engage in life? And with and are we capable of moving away from obsessive behavior that instead of celebrating the weave of our connectivity, we cause harm. We break the thread of connectivity. And in that way, we are diminished. So this is a journey of self-exploration. This is a journey of really paying attention to see what are we doing, how are we doing it, and how can we transform that? This is the purpose of our practices. So now I'm going to look at some notes that I wanted to share with you. Get out the old glasses. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. So now, this is something you might want to write down. How do we recognize if we're making any progress? So, number one, are we mindful? Meaning, are we paying attention to how we act? Are we paying attention? Number two, are we kind? Now, you know, His Holiness the Dalai Lama says that's the essence of his religion as far as he's concerned. Kindness. Then, do you live with contentment and emotional balance, even when things are difficult? Yes, we can do that. Are you authentic or are you pretending? Are you present here and now? Connected with everything? And does the light shine through you? Do you feel yourself radiating? According to our scientists, these practices of engagement that we do with the Dharma, they actually alter our brain so that we become more and more capable of engaging in a positive way. So, a couple of notes from our human potential fellow, the Neurodharma guy, who says the ultimate possibility is the complete liberation of mind and heart with the highest happiness and most sublime peace. Engaging in life without craving, greed, hatred, delusion. And that's hatred for anyone. We have all kinds of beings bopping around this planet right now. And some of them are engaging in harmful behavior. That's true. But we cannot put them outside of our heart. We cannot cultivate hatred because that is going to diminish us and our power. So these practices, changing our brain. Approach each day as an opportunity. When you wake up in the morning, just think, what is today going to present me? Now, yes, we have habits. We do this, but really every moment is different. Observe it. Observe your opportunities. And when you go to bed, review them. Just think about it. Just think, how did that work? So can we disengage from bad habits? Absolutely. Can we acquire good ones? Absolutely. See things in a new way? Feel good about ourselves? Remember, situations, relationships come and go. Thoughts and feelings come and go. With this practice, we are seeking what is eternal within us. One of the notes that I thought was very interesting in this exploration of the brain and the Dharma was just how when we engage, we are transforming the brain itself. Here are some questions that we were encouraged. Consider these. You might write them down. What do you want to heal in yourself? Now, the reason I'm asking you these questions is because one of the things that I want you to do before we meet again is I want you to write a prayer. I want you to write a prayer to Tara. And these are the things I want you to ask. What do you hope to heal in yourself? What would you like to let go of? What do you hope to grow in yourself? So those are about yourself. Then, who are you concerned about? I hope you're writing these things down. I hope that Miri encouraged you to bring a journal. I wanted that to happen. If it doesn't happen this time, we can do it next time, but think about these things. Who are you concerned about? And in the prayer, hold them in your heart. Okay? So now that's your assignment. You are going to write a prayer to Tara, and you are going to include what you hope to heal in yourself, what you would like to let go of, what you hope to grow in yourself. Who are you concerned about? Hold them in your heart. And so that's that little bit. Now, when you engage as a student teacher during this, doing these dances. Now remember, we're going through all of this because Sita Rinpoche reminded me, don't take it for granted that your students are going to understand this material without guidance. Don't take it for granted that they are going to understand the profound opportunity that they have here. Guide them so they do not distort what we are doing with this dance. Because manifesting as Tara means revealing your own inner light, revealing your own inner power, revealing your own inner compassion, your capacity for compassion. So this is the study. This is the Tara Datu Educational Program protocol. It is to support our personal practice and to prepare to share the dance with others. So there are a few engagements that we do with this practice. Now, if you were to write, many of you have joined the student teacher program and have engaged right from the beginning with what I ask for. But some of you have been with me for so long that you haven't, because when we first started this, I didn't have all of these pieces in place, but now I do. And so I ask all of you who have not registered with Taradatu educational program, please do so. Go on to the website and register. There are 5 points if you're just engaging as a student, and 6 if you are engaging as someone who wants to share the dance. So we work together. We work together. Someone asked me also today the meaning of the word Sangha. Why do I use the gesture, the community of practitioners? It's because what makes our community so exceptionally powerful and precious is that we care about each other. We care about it. We support each other. You know, we couldn't do the mandala dance if we were not supporting each other. So in this practice, once you engage in signing all of the things that I ask you to do, mostly it's just so that I can advise you, or so that those who you have selected as a mentor can advise you how to progress with this material. Then you get a letter of welcome. And in this letter of welcome, I ask you, there are 3 things that I request. One is study. Now, of course, I would love for you to study my book because I've mapped it out in Dancing Tara, Manual of Practice. However, there are other really great books, but I really encourage, that's one of the elements that will bring about fabulous transformation if you associate with study in an appropriate way. Number 2, there are 3 of these. Number 2 is practice. Practice. Now, practice can be prayers, and the prayers can be done sitting or dancing or walking, but these are ways, these rituals, the ritual activity assists us in stabilizing the mind. When the mind becomes stable, then it becomes clear. So this is number 2. And then number 3, I call contemplation, just for want of a single word, to represent what I need you to know, which is none of this material is effective unless you apply it to your own life. And it's perfectly reasonable to encounter experiences that are difficult to weave into your sensation of making progress on the spiritual path. That's perfectly reasonable. And this is what your sources of refuge are for. One of the things for sure is to allow yourself to relate to the teachers, the lineage, the teachers, to relate to the enlightened ones like Tara, to engage in study, check out the teachings, and to rely on our community to help us to get over, to help us to integrate. So we contemplate as we engage. I will invite you to think about one thing, just something, as I did with the asking you to write a prayer, okay? So really think about this. And over the course of our engagement, I will ask you to think about some of the prayers that we're working with, so that over the course of time, let's say we we just take one line for 1 week. I am here to manifest the wisdom that rests within. And we just think about that, not beat ourselves up by it, but reflect as we engage in life. See, where does it fit? How does it work? Does it work? And if it doesn't, then you discuss it with your mentor. So this is, I encourage you, those of you who are in the practice, those of you who are signed up as student teachers, I will send you these documents that I've created. This is not only for you. This is also so that if you want to share the dances with anyone, you have material to work with. Now, don't just teach. Over the years, always, I don't just teach the dances. I will engage in giving some of the background, giving some of this information. And so I've developed these different documents so that you can use them to share with people who will study with you. Another question that I'm often asked is the whole idea of a mentor. What is a mentor? And what is a mentee? I always thought that was a lovely word that the Sufis coined, mentee, one who receives guidance from the mentor. So in order to become a mentor of this material, you have to really understand what it's about. And you have to be able to engage in the practices yourself. So most of the time, I am the chief, the chief bottle washer. I'm the chief mentor because I understand these practices so well. But some of my students have definitely gotten there. And so you can take guidance from them. I'm asked, what about the relationship of a mentor? How does that work? Well, if you are being guided by someone and they're giving their precious time to help you to engage in these practices, then some kind of reciprocal appreciation is necessary. It's necessary in order to keep the relationship clear. So you should have a conversation with your mentor to say, this is what this is what I can do. This is what I'd like to offer in exchange for your support. Now, some people take the teachings and they don't need very much support because they've had a lot of experience. Some of us have been around the Dharma block for many lifetimes. And so it's very clear how to engage in these practices. So it's your personal experience, your relationship with a mentor. So use it. When you hit a hard spot, some of the most profound teachings for me was when life became unbearable. I'm thinking of my friend Liliha right now. One of her favorite stories was when all of my costumes and jewelry were stolen, and all of my tapes, and it was devastating, absolutely devastating. And of course, my initial impulse was to be furious with whoever stole my things and to curse them and to imagine all kinds of horrible things happening to them. But before I got too far down that road, I called Lama Tenzin and asked him, I told him what happened. And he said, are you hoping that the person who took your things is enjoying them? This was such a shock to me, I could barely talk. I had to quickly get off the phone and digest that information. But then I realized, wow, yeah, of course, it's up to me how I think about this. It's up to me how I'm going to relate to it. Of course, I would like to have my things back. But if I think to injure this person, if I think for revenge, or in some way, that is going to diminish me. So that was a big lesson. It's very helpful to work with your mentor, because Lama Tenzin, he was my spiritual friend. He was my mentor. And he helped me through all kinds of rough bits that I had in my life. Wonderful, wonderful, blessed man, simple guy, called himself the little Lama. Yeah, he was little, sure. Anyway, you can find all the tools that you need as we engage in the Taradatu shop. Now a lot of people have gone through a lot of trouble to develop all these materials. So we all ask that you be inspired, uplifted, and fully liberated by your sincere efforts. So that's that. That is the letter of invitation. That is the letter of welcome that you get. Or, of course, I've pared it down and changed it around. But to explain how I engage in this practice and how I invite you to engage in these practices. So now, let's see, how are we doing? Oh, that's good. Well, okay. I promised Midi I wouldn't stay too long. So then once we've decided that we're going to go ahead, then we start with the book. We start with Dancing Tara, with the introduction, with the question, what is the mandala dance of Tara? We know that. Is it necessary to be a Buddhist? This is an important question because you're working with me. And I do not consider myself a Buddhist because I don't identify with being an ist or an ism. I have engaged in a number of different spiritual paths: Christianity, Sufism, Hinduism, Theosophy, Scientology. It's a long list. It's a long list. And each one has gifted me with profound experiences. So I don't want to deny anything, but because of this experience, I can look at any one of these paths and show how to work the method of mind training that is presented through this association with the Tibetans, how to engage and not deny any of our relationships with Mother Mary or Mother Kali or Madame Blavatsky, whoever inspires us, whatever inspires us, can be integrated into that wonderful refuge prayer. It doesn't really matter what journey, as long as there is no harm involved. If there's no harm involved, we can make it work. But if we're harming others, forget it. That doesn't work. That doesn't fit. This is why I check out everybody who wants to engage in these practices as a teacher. I'm very careful to make sure that you're not going to cause more problems. So I'm often asked, where does this come from? The text was a gomter. That means that Chogyam Lingpa, who was a great yogi, he received in his meditation this practice of Tara. Now, the actual practice that he received takes about 45 minutes to chant through it in Tibetan at super top speed. But the lamas realized that we Westerners just didn't have the time to do what they were being asked. So they condensed it down into the text that we use now in our dance. Now, where did the dance come from? This is a beautiful question because I asked that question. Where did it? I just figure I held out my hands and it fell into my hands. Do I take responsibility? Well, sort of. I mean, I was the one who caught it and I was the one who worked with it and continued to work with it. But where did it come from? Just like this gomter, this treasure, this mind treasure of Chögyalingpa that gives us a method of practice. I also somehow received this material, I guess you could say in my mind. I received it in my heart. I received it in my dancing body. And I received it from all of the women who responded in such powerful ways to the practice. So, although I take responsibility for everything that I've done, I still do not lay claim. I do not say it is mine. It is ours. And I feel it's Tara's gift to us. It's her gift to us. And so we do our best to use this gift in the most powerful and precious way. Okay, let's see. Can this practice be done sitting? Absolutely. In fact, this practice was done sitting until I put it to dance. So what is the message that we're giving to the deepest part of our mind? Now, this I took right out of the book. To reveal its treasure, the truth of our inner nature as the union of wisdom and compassion. That is the message we're giving to our deepest mind, so that as we engage in the practice of Tara, we may all be benefited by this sincere study. Okay, so that's lesson number 1 that you will find. Now, I will send these documents to those of you who are involved in the student teacher program. You may have received them already, but I'm going to make sure that you get them so that we can continue to do this. Now, very often people will say, is this a traditional dance? No, it is not a traditional dance. In fact, every Tibetan Lama that I've danced for, in fact, all the Tibetans we've danced for, will say there never has been a dance of Tara. Now, I don't think that's true in the sense that I think in India, there definitely was the dance of Tara. But by the time it got to Tibet, there wasn't. Certainly, it was not in the formation that we're doing it. So then, you met Sita Rinpoche and the main work of the organization. So Tara Datu was formed because Sita Rinpoche told me, it's going to be really difficult for you to manage this yourself. You need to have an organization to support you in order to develop this student-teacher relationship, in order for the dance to go out from you. So start an organization, which of course I immediately said, forget it. I'm not that kind of person. I can't start an organization. So as soon as this was on Oahu, as soon as I went back to Maui, one of my main students, Kenyavani at the time, said, oh, but I'm a professional at starting nonprofits, I'll do it. So that's how we got Taradatu, and then Bokha Rinpoche gave us the name, which means the pure land, the pure realm of the goddess Tara. So, and it's been amazing. It's been supporting us ever since. It's really beautiful. Now we have, so anyone who's kind and sincere is allowed to do the dance. So you can dance as much as you want. It's only when it comes to teaching, we have to make sure that you've got the pieces clear. So then I took a couple of quotes before we close today. I took a couple of quotes from His Holiness the Dalai Lama when we danced for him in Dharamsala. He gave a beautiful talk. And so he's told us the 21 manifestations of Tara are all have different purpose, but they are all a aspect of Buddha energy. Tara is the air, our inner wind. She's our energy, all movement depends on air. Even the movement of consciousness combines with energy. When we meditate on Tara, we meditate on energy. This is the practice of Tara on the deepest level. The most important thing that we cultivate when we dance Tara is positive motivation, compassionate motivation, a sense of caring and concern. When the performance takes place, then it's a blessing from Tara. I asked him, why do people have such powerful experiences? And he said, it doesn't matter whether members of the audience or even the dancers themselves believe or don't believe, because there is some kind of vibration, an invisible energy. This was his words. You do not need to know the name of the wind to feel its effect. So Tara made a vow she would remain with us until the end of time, until we were all free. And so whether we believe in it or not, she is pouring her light and love upon our world. Now, when Boka Rinpoche was so kind to take me on as a student so that I could really manifest in a deeper way these teachings. And when he came to Maui and we danced for him, he was absolutely delighted because I became his student at the consecration of Kalu, the young Kalu. And this, I never had danced for Bokar. And so he didn't know what it was that I had been doing. So this was a big deal for him and me. We danced on Maui for him. And afterwards, he gave a beautiful talk. It's in my book, but I want to just remind you the importance of the dance for the audience. Now remember, when we dance the mandala, it is a performance, and it is specifically a performance. Many of our dances are just for the dancers. But the mandala is a performance because for those who are watching, it creates auspicious conditions. It creates a special environment. It is a sense of a healthy outlook. It is clarifying and auspicious. But for those who dance Tara, because of the essential nature of Tara, those who express the enlightened qualities and activities of Tara through dance can be inspired so that obstacles, hindrances in their own personal lives can be clarified. For the audience, those witnessing this dance may be inspired by the qualities of Tara so that conflicting emotions, even if it's just temporarily, subside. Clarification from confused preoccupation, clarifying hindrances, particularly in the path of pursuing spirituality in one's own life. So even though the audience may not know anything about Tara at all, and of course, as you know, there are so many words to the dance, they can't understand all these words. So why does half the audience start crying when they witness the dance, or get so excited about why? What is really happening? And Rinpoche said it's because things become clear for them, even if it's momentary. And it's such a powerful experience that they don't know what's happening to them. They just know that something profound has caused them to be able to look more deeply into their own heart. A wonderful potential. So, my beloveds, this is our first encounter with the protocol. I hope that I have been able to satisfy Miri's request. That girl, she really is on our side, just always thinking of ways to make the material available, to make it possible for us to engage in the most profound way. So I would like to open this for a few questions, if you have any questions or comments. And so Noelle, I will ask you to go. Oh, look at all those. My goodness. Let me see who we've got here. Oh, I wish I could see better. Oh, yes. Oh, I'm going to bring you closer to me. Oh, wow. How delightful. So, okay. Questions? Wave your hand. Mm-hmm. It looks like Fatima Clea. Yes?
Oh, okay. Looking. Raise your hand.
Fatima, raise your hand. Were you just waving? Okay. Let's see.
Raise your
Flavia.
hand or use the hand raising feature down there somewhere on your toolbar.
Okay. Any questions? Please raise your hand. No. Okay. Well, very good. We can just carry on then. So I want to bring this meeting to a close then with the prayer of the four immeasurables, which is one of the most powerful practices you can do. And so, of course, I'm stuck in this chair. I can't quite move around, dance around yet. I can hobble, but I can't quite dance. So we'll just do some hand gestures. But Miri, if you would please put on the music. We come together, heaven to earth, opening our hearts. We rest in the wisdom of interconnectedness. We are all together in this wonderful adventure of life. We offer each being in this wide and wonderful world love, compassion, joy, and equanimity. May this wish increase more and more until it bathes the whole world.
May all beings have happiness and a cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and a cause of
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been very, very precious to share this time with you. So I look forward to our next meeting, wherever it may be, whenever it may be. May you be well and happy and taking good care of each other. Aloha for now. Bye for now.